So we have this almost finished, but I want to set up a couple more effects to make sure it does everything I want it to do. So the first thing is I want to go in and have the ability, as we can see right now, we can change the deform scale here, but that just decides where it starts to deform, and we also got the scale ends. But it's not easy to make the deform bigger. We could increase the curve here, but I don't really want to do that. So I want a bulge scale as well. So to create that, pretty simple. We just go inside our deform by surface. We go inside our bulge because we know that's where all the bulge stuff is set up. And we're going to add another multiply in between these two. So just get a multiply. I'm going to turn off these little things, turn off parts of the interface, just turn off the sides here, give myself a bit more space since we're working inside a compound. So we get a multiply by scalar, just drag it in between these two here. Great. Just move some stuff out so we have a bit more room, see where everything is. I don't really like to have my nodes overlapping if possible. And the factor here will just bring out, export that out and give it a name. Bulge size. Okay. So we have our bulge size now. We can try that out. Pretty simple. We just double click on here. We have our bulge size and we can just increase and decrease it. I'd actually prefer that was higher up on the tree, so we can also change it around in a second, but first of all we'll hook it in the bulge size into here. So we'll just drag and drop bulge size. It's down the bottom there. You can just click on these and you can do move up to kind of move these up. As you can see, I'm just moving it up one at a time. And I'll move it right to the top there. So the bulge size is right there. The next thing is I have the ability now to scale my bulge, and we can try that out here. Bulge size. We can now make my bulge as big or as small as we want. So leave it at 1 as default. It would also be nice if I could scale my bulge non-uniformly. So if I could scale it just in the X or just in the Y or just in the Z. That's a little bit more complicated, but not too bad. Same idea as inside the bulge. We have right now our point normal. And the way we can affect the bulge non-uniformly is we can actually get the normal, it's a vector right now, convert it to a scalar, scale each of the x, y, z, and then put it back to a vector. So we need a couple of conversion nodes to do this. So if we look under conversion, or under scalar or vector, you got here scalar to 3D vector and 3D vector to scalar. And that just allows us to get x, y, z values. Now we need a few multiply nodes. Just a multiply is fine because they're already scalar. It doesn't make any difference whether it's multiple by scalar or scalar. And I want 3 of those. Okay. So there we are. We've got 3 of these multiplies. Now we just start hooking everything in. The x into 1, y, z, and then put these all in here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so those are all now being scaled by, at the moment, nothing. Next, of course, we want to have our value come in and then come out. So we're going to make this into a simple compound. Pick all those and create compound. We will give it a name. So we'll go compound properties, multiply vector by x, y, z. So multiply vector by x, y, z is what it does. And then we'll go in and give it the right output. So we need an output. We need our vector to come in, of course. And we also need to bring in our x, y, and Z. And of course, in this case, and then of course the vector has to go back out again, so we just hook it into the output. We want to rename each of these so we know what they are. Rename X. I'll just do XVal. Rename YVal. And we'll quickly do this one. Rename ZVal. Okay, so we've got X, Y, Z. Very simply, there's our control. We can now just bring the normal in to this, and then back out into that multiply. The moment it has no effect, but once we try these out, let's say we want to scale in the X a bit, we can now scale it in the X. It's hard to see unless I move the camera, but you can see right now we're just scaling in the X, in the Z, or even in the Y. So that works pretty well. Let's just hook these into the compound as well. So we just make sure we can output those. Oops. Undo that one quickly. If you do one incorrectly, well, that's okay. We can hook it up, get them in order later. Just move that Y up one. Go back out to the main compound. You can see we have a few more options here, and we just do the XVal, YVal, and ZVal. And now when we go all the way out here, double click, you can actually see we've got the X, Y, and Z value we can use to scale each of those as well. And now I'm really happy with the compound. We're going to save this as version 3. So we export it out. Actually, first of all, before we export it, let's give it a version number. So we go to compound properties. This will be version 3. Call out more options. Not the most descriptive name, but that's okay. And export it out. And now for the moment of truth. Let's see how this works in a more practical situation. So we've got our squashed ball effect. That's not exactly what I wanted to do this for. I actually want to see, could this work for deforming a car tire over a terrain? Let me turn my main command panel back on. Let me go to my layers and scene layers, and I've had all along this wheel hidden in my scene. And this wheel has a little expression on, so if we were to move the wheel, let me just go to a wireframe for a second, the wheel actually will roll. So let's go ahead and see if this works. Let's go back to my view here, and let's go back to shader for a second, and let's try putting my new deformer on there. So we know it's deformed by surface, and there's our deformed by surface node. Let's first of all refresh this. We see I have nothing. I want to deform on the actual tire, not on the entire wheel. So we'll just go create ice tree, take our deform by surface, hook it into the port 1, select our grid, hit F3, drag that into our ice tree. We want the value and the input object name, and let's see if it works. Let me hide this so we don't have to look at that. Let me frame this a bit closer, and let's move the wheel down a bit. Oh, there it goes, squashed. And let's move it forward, and there's our rolling deform wheel. Now that doesn't look too tire-like, so we're actually, the reason we have those XYZ controls is we can adjust it. So we can say, well, I want it to be a little bit more out in the Z, but less in the X, and you can adjust it and get the effect you really want. And you can see as it moves, oops, that's too far down, but as it moves back and forward, it creates this effect. Now, if I wanted to add some bumps to the surface, right now it's using the maximum point, so if I actually move some points around the surface, I would run into a small problem. And there's more, of course, we could add. You can see right now it's deforming even when it's not on the surface. So to make sure that works correctly, we would actually have to go inside the compound, and I'll probably have to change it from max to min. So we'll just change that to min, and then it should be fine. So sometimes you do need to go into compound and change things. Eventually I'll probably have it set up so there'd be an offset value. You can actually see how the tire is now deforming over that bump. If we were in wireframe, you'll clearly see it actually deforms over the speed bump as well. So again, pretty happy with this compound. It does roughly what I wanted to do. It's pretty powerful. I can make some changes. I could export or output more options if I needed to. I could give it a lot more control. You know, a bunch of if statements could go in here. It'd be nice if I could switch the bulge on and off. We could just do that with a simple if statement, because you can see if you disconnect this, the bulge is off. To make a switch to turn things on and off, it's just a simple if. And if it's true, we hook it in, and if it's false, it's not, and then we just hook that condition in, change the name, rename to bulge, or do, if I can type, do bulge. Again, if we want to move it up, we can. I'll just leave it at the bottom in this case. Now at the moment it doesn't bulge. If we turn the bulge on, then it bulges. So lots and lots of things you can do with these. Definitely have some fun. We could export that out. We give it a new version. Now this could be 3.1. We could say bulge option, and save that out again. So go ahead, work with compounds. This is an example of, there's a lot of different things inside here, but again it's very powerful. You know, it's a great way of organizing using small internal compounds, making an external compound that you can share. One thing you can do as well with these, if you're really happy with this, you can take the compound, and under the compound menu here, you can actually, where is it? You can actually upload these compounds to the community. There it is. So you can do software, use software.net, upload compound, then you can share this compound with all your friends and peers in the industry and actually help everyone build better tools inside of ICE.